Hare Ganga Mahadev Sri Shankara Parvati Pati Mahadev Sri Shankara.
Namaste, it's Sahara Rose, and welcome back to the Highest Self Podcast, a place where we discuss what makes you your soul's highest development. If right now feels like a lot, it's because it is. It's because it's too much for any one person, any one soul, any one nervous system to even begin to try to comprehend. Throughout millennia, we have not even been able to know everything that is going on around the world. All we knew what was going on in our surroundings, in our village, in our tribe. And there were many things that would go wrong. Starvation would happen, wars would happen, famine would happen, disease would happen. But our nervous systems were designed to cope with it at the moment it was going on. This immediate stress that was meant to be resolved together as a community. And then after its resolution, we would go through periods of peace. However, right now, with social media and the internet and the media at large, we know what is happening around the world at all times. So we never get that resolution. We never get that moment of peace. Because first it's communism in Cuba and all of the people suffering there. And then it's the earthquake in Haiti. And then it's the Taliban coming back in Afghanistan. And then it's the Delta variant. And then it's mandates. And then it's this other thing happening over there. And we never get that resolution at the end. Every day, something else just seems to triumph the level of intensity of the news of the day before. And then we're not even thinking about the child that got kidnapped from their family because now we have women running away from the Taliban. So it's impossible for us to be able to handle this because it's the entire world's problems. It's beyond one community. It's beyond one nervous system. It's beyond even comprehension. When someone says millions of children are suffering, we cannot imagine what millions looks like in our mind. We just go into a shock. We go into a panic. And in a way, we disassociate and we begin to numb ourselves because it's too much to feel it all. And if you're listening to this podcast, I'm going to guess you are an empath like me. And when you hear these news and you look at the photos of the children and the woman and the suffering, it's not just numbers for you. You feel it deep in your bones. And you can't just click the next story and go on with the rest of your day. It hurts you on a soul level, and you spend your free time trying to come up with solutions on how do we solve the problems of the Middle East and communism and malnutrition and all of these different things that are happening that previously we were not even really thinking about. But the truth is, those problems were always there. It's just that one day the media decides to spotlight something happening in the world, and then all of a sudden we all seek to become the experts and the solvers of this issue until tomorrow when something else feels more important. And because of this, we're not coming up with solutions. We're not following through with things. But on a personal level, we're never healing. People are speaking about the virus and how it's getting stronger, but maybe a lot of our nervous systems and immune systems have gotten weaker from the past year and a half, from dealing with this constant stress and this chronic bad news that never seems to get better. We don't get news of, hey, the building was rebuilt on the other side, or children were sent back to school. We don't hear these things. We're only confronted with what's the next worst thing that happened. And my background is in international relations, specifically in human rights. I was the president of our Amnesty International chapter. My mom is a refugee. My dad is an immigrant. I know a lot about the importance of raising awareness. And awareness without action doesn't actually do anything. Being aware of all of the world's problems, but becoming crippled as a result of it, is not creating a solution. Each of these issues is so complex. It takes years and years to even be able to understand the layers, the politics, the cultural norms, the geopolitical issues that are happening in any part of the world. So for us to think that one day we are going to be Haitian experts, and then we're going to be Pakistani experts, and then we're going to be Nigerian experts, it's not possible. People dedicate their lives just to studying one region. And there are still countless disputes on these resolutions. So why I'm sharing this is the way that the social media world has gotten is, hey, this horrible thing is happening here. If you care, you will share about this and drop everything you're doing and raise awareness on this thing that truthfully, none of us know the solution for. A lot of people are struggling financially. So we say donate money, but realistically, how many of these people that you share it with are actually going to donate money? And what actually ends up happening is we pass along the news to someone else who passes along the news to someone else. Now everyone knows about this thing happening, but no one's doing anything. And what's happening as a result is our immune systems, our nervous systems become weaker and weaker and weaker and more fragile and more susceptible to different diseases. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with the state of the world, it's because you were never designed to know about everything happening all around the world. No one person can. Because by the way, it's not even just that thing that's happening on the news right now, but those same issues in Cambodia are still going on. The same concentration camps in China are still going on. All of the other things that were happening are still happening right now too. It's impossible for us. We will lose ourselves in the spiral of darkness if we allow ourselves to. So this is my call and my reminder to you to really choose one cause. Whether it's the environment for you, or animal rights, or child trafficking, or Middle Eastern politics, or whatever it is for you, choose one cause and devote yourself to it. Research it, find the solutions, hear the different perspectives, donate your money, volunteer, be of service, lean into conversations. But you cannot adequately give the amount of energy and expertise that it requires on every matter of the world and actually make a difference. It's impossible to. So choose one thing. What is that thing that sets your soul on fire? What is the thing that feels so wrong in your bones that you know if there's one problem in this world that this lifetime is going to be about solving, that is what you're dedicating yourself to. And give yourself to it. And even as different issues happen around the world, you can look at it from that angle. What's the environmental angle? What is the child education angle? What is the women's rights angle? But to try to be an expert in every single thing, it's impossible. And it's negating the work of the actual experts. So choose one cause and devote yourself to it. Find a solution, be the solution. And that cause doesn't even have to be something global. It can be something local. And this is really what we are missing right now more than ever. With the advent of the internet and social media, the beauty of it was we were able to, see people around the world do the happy dance and feel connected to people all around the entire planet. However, right now, we don't even know who our neighbors are. Do you know your neighbors? Do you know every single person that lives on your floor, your building? Do you even have 5 friends that are driving distance from you? For most people in the US, the answer to that is going to be no. The average person has 2 close friends. So where are we putting our focus right now? How are you going to solve the issues of the Middle East if we don't even know the issues that are happening right where we live? And the solutions are going to be different because there are different cultural norms. There are different complexities. There are different just deep-rooted issues every part of the world that, again, it takes diving into something to be aware of it. I mean, even different parts of your state, you can feel the difference. So this is also a call for you to think global, but act local. What difference can I make in my local surroundings? Can I be more involved with my local government? Do I even know where it is? Do I even know what they're speaking about in their committee meetings? Do I even know what they're voting on right now that my voice actually can make a huge difference on that's going to affect the community that I live in? Most of us are so disconnected from our local communities when that is the grassroots and the fabric of any society. And the reason why so many indigenous communities are so powerful, or different parts of the world have such a strong level of health and vitality, is because they have a strong sense of community. They are meeting, they are discussing. When there is a point of contention, they are having that conversation face to face where they can feel the humanity of another person. We're not doing that anymore. We're just reposting highlights of disasters and thinking that that's enough, but it will never be. I mean, even if you dedicate your life to one of these issues, it never will be, because there are mountains upon mountains of layers upon any of these issues. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, know that this is a normal response. What you can do is focus on one issue. Become the expert in it. Become the solution for it. It can be global. It can be local. And yes, you can remain aware of what's happening around the world, but if it's getting to a point that it's crippling you, that it's preventing you from being the mother that you want to be, from living your purpose, from taking action on the very things that you are meant to share, then I invite you to just take a step back. Maybe delete whatever apps you keep going on, or vow to yourself to not go back on those news websites, and give yourself a break, because you staying up to date on the latest of the numbers and the stats and the wars isn't helping. It's not bringing the numbers down. It's not ending any war. It's not ending any genocide. In fact, it's just making everyone weaker. So if your nervous system can handle it, dive in. But if it's feeling frazzled and overwhelmed and you're not actually able to take action on your dharma, your soul's purpose, which is the big reason why you're here and the ultimate way that you will actually make a lasting impact on the planet, then I suggest for you to take a step back. The news that you need to know will always find its way to you. Instead, focus on how you can be the solution, how you can bring more joy to the world, how you can bring more light to the world, how you can create those very things you wish existed in those parts of the world. Maybe you wish that those children had access to arts, or there was more joy, or there was more community, dance, music, connection. Create that. If you have the power to create something light and beautiful to be shared, that is the ultimate act of service you can do, not losing yourself down the spiral of awareness. So please reclaim your power. You are so much more powerful than the mainstream media wants you to know. And you will become so much stronger and able to stand in the face of these true evils that happen when you are sovereign and in your power. So I feel you. From my heart to yours, it is a lot. You know, my own parents escaped from Iran. I've met Afghani street children myself who have escaped from the Taliban. Like, trust me, this is a personal issue even for me. And I know that I am not actually able to create the difference that I want to create, the gift that I have to be in this country and to be safe and sovereign and have a voice and the ability to share. If I don't share, then what is the point of it all? So create that light. Be the sun. Shine your radiance with the world. Because just as much as there is darkness, there is light. But we need to be as vocal as the darkness. We need highlight reels of all of the beauty happening and the children laughing and progress being made. And it is up to us to be the creators of that, not to wait for the media to change, for us to be our own media, for us to be our own speaking boards, for us to be the new news, the news that they don't profit off of sharing, the news of elevation and oneness and humanitarian evolvement. You know, that doesn't sell as much as fear, but we're not subscribing to that anymore. We are not going to let our lives slip away, being sad and upset and disempowered by something else that is completely out of our control, when there is so much in our control that we are not even touching upon yet. You can make a huge difference right now where you are without any additional resources because you have your freedom right now. Please, I urge you to use it. So my gift that I am here to share with this world is Rose Gold Goddesses. And this is my Divine Feminine Mystery School, where we are diving in the next year together to unlocking the codes inside of us to bring more embodiment, womb wisdom, expression, intuition, and joy to the world. This curriculum that I've designed for you is potent with some of your favorite Highest Self podcast guests and spiritual teachers that will be sharing experiential workshops, everything from quantum healing to human design to lucid dreaming and rainforest herbs and everything else you can imagine. This is the school that I wish existed, and this is why I created it. So if you are feeling the call to join us, doors are open right now, this week only, and will not be open again until next year. So head over to rosegoldgoddesses.com if you are feeling the call to be part of an intentional community where we live in our hearts, and through the feminine and through the womb and through embodiment, we create and co-weave a higher reality for all to be shared and experienced. So again, head over to rosegoldgoddesses.com. That link is in the show notes, and I'm super excited to have you inside. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If it resonated for you, if it struck a chord inside of you, or if you feel like it's something that's worth sharing, people you know around you may be going through that spiral of overwhelm and the news and the media and not knowing what to do or how to be of service and just feeling totally frazzled by it all. Please share, because this message can activate and re-empower someone to create a solution that the world has been waiting for. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.